We are going to go over how you can start a B2B lead generation agency as well as 6 different ways to get your first client. Hi, my name is Michael, and this is the second video in a series where I go through A to Z for starting and scaling a B2B lead generation agency using the same methods and strategies I've used to grow mine to over $1 million in sales. And in today's video, we're going to cover a couple pretty cool topics. What are the preliminary requirements that you need to take care of to actually start a B2B lead generation agency? How much does it cost to start? Step-by-step recommendations for where you should put your time, money, and energy, a timeline to hold yourself accountable, and last but not least, the most exciting part, 6 ways to get your first client for B2B lead gen using methods that I've used and validated not only by myself, but with my clients. Let's go ahead and get into the video. Okay, here we are in my whiteboard where we're going to be going through everything. Now, the first question I want to answer is going to be, what are the pieces you need? What are the preliminary requirements you need to start a B2B lead gen agency? And I've broken it down into 6 things. Now, for a lot of these, I'll be having a MVP I recommend, which is a minimum viable product, meaning the least you could do, the most lean, most time efficient thing, as well as the ideal scenario. Now, I generally recommend the MVP, but I do want to give the option for both. Like anything, there's no 100% right path. It varies person to person. Now, starting with the MVP here, first thing you want to do is clean your personal socials. Like if you have a bunch of stupid pictures on your Instagram and it's public, make it private or clean it. Next thing you want to do is in the B2B world, you need an optimized LinkedIn account. Like this is so easy. It's not like the make all break all, but it's so easy to do and people are going to look you up before they get on meetings with you. So set up a LinkedIn account. Get a profile photo where you're looking at the camera, you're not wearing a tank top, there's good lighting, you don't look like an idiot. Guys like to look away from the camera, don't. Look at the camera. Second, header. Get a header image and bio text about what you do. Very basic. Same thing of Twitter. Especially in B2B, like marketing software, people do spend time on Twitter. Do the exact same thing. And then grab your usernames across Facebook, Instagram, and other platforms while you can. Sometimes people will see up-and-coming agency owners and grab their usernames. That's it. Now, the more ideal scenario, and obviously what I do is like, I post some bit of content on every platform, but I don't think you need to start with that. Now, it's not a bad idea to like fill out your profile on every platform, maybe have one post so you're not a ghost, but the main thing here is just getting your LinkedIn ready. Again, this should only take you a couple hours. Do not spend too much time here. Moving right on to number 2, it would be payment processing. You need to be able to accept payments. Now, the minimum viable product here would be a PayPal, Wise, or ACH transfer if you're in the United States and you're working with United States businesses. More ideal here, and I do recommend this, is getting set up on Stripe and using Simple Invoices. Simple Invoices is a plugin that connects to Stripe that makes it really simple, like the name suggests, to send invoices. I have processed millions of dollars through Stripe, and I've not had any issues. However, it is very important you understand this. You need to fill out your Stripe profile completely and be entirely honest. Do not wait until crap hits the fan of Stripe. They do not play and they have no sympathy. If you're new to business, you probably haven't seen this. If you've been in business more than 6 months, I'm sure you've seen people getting shut down on Stripe, losing all their subscriptions, and having a massive hit to their business. We do not want that to happen to you. So make sure that you fill out your Stripe properly. Now, if you only have Stripe, also get PayPal. If you only have PayPal, also get Wise. Make sure you have at least 2 options for payment processing. Now, I'm talking to my US audience here. For other countries, I can't tell you. I don't know what payment processing is in the UK or in Germany, but I'm sure you can figure it out. So second is payment processing. We need to be able to do this because we want to make money. Now, third thing here is we need to name our business. And again, these are very fast preliminary things. Please do not see each of these as a day of work. These are hours or hour of work to complete, which more on that when we get to the timeline down below. Keeping in mind here, the main goal is getting our first client, which I have a full breakdown at the end of the video. But third thing, preliminary requirement, a name for your business. Now, ideal scenario is a basic logo. You can make it really easy, and a legal business. I'm not a lawyer. I can't say when your business needs to be legal, but for myself, once I made like $10,000 online, I set up a legal business. Now, a couple tips here. Do not make your name something where you can't pivot. I would not make it like chiropractor B2B lead gen. Well, that's not B2B, but like marketing agency B2B lead gen, or chiropractor leads, or LinkedIn ninjas. You might change your platform, your service, or your niche. So I would make it a little bit more generic to start. We also want to avoid buzzwords. Digital, agency, what's another example? Digital, agency were two big ones. Online, media. We want to avoid the things that scream, hey, I'm a marketing agency. And you also want to detach your agency from your name. If you ever want to sell in the future, you'll have to rebrand, because like if my business was Michael Gardiner Marketing, it would be pretty hard to sell that to someone who's not Michael Gardiner. So we do want to detach our business from our name. So just don't make it around your name. But beyond that, don't put too much time into this. There's some very successful businesses with pretty ridiculous names. So let's move on to thing number 4 here. Domains and emails. Now, there are a lot of different services and platforms you could offer B2B lead gen on. If you want to know more about those, see the last video in the series, which is in the description. However, I'm going to default towards cold email, as that's what I've made well over $1 million in sales doing and what I do for people. So I'm going to focus there. So the 4th thing is domains and emails. Now, no matter what, you need your core domain. This would be like my done for you meetings email, like dfymeetings.com. That's my agency. And we need a core email address. Mine is michael@dfymeetings.com. Cold email me if you can. You'll also want to have some outreach domains and emails, because in order to get good at outreach, we need to do outreach. The bare minimum here would be 5 outreach domains and 10 outreach emails. More ideal, 5 outreach domains and 15 outreach emails, because we can only send around 30 to 40 emails a day, and we want to make sure we're having pretty high sending volume. And for naming domains and emails, I actually have a full guide on how you can do this, so no worries there. There is a link in the description to check that out. So if you want to come back and watch that video after this, it will be there. 5th thing, a website. And I'm being very careful putting this here, because you don't need a website. However, you will need to redirect your domain somewhere to add some trust and authority. Your first option is redirect your domains, just a simple redirect, to an optimized LinkedIn profile. Second option is make a very basic website on Card or Wix that takes you like an hour. Very minimal. Very, very minimal. You don't need a blog. You don't need a free training. Just, this is what I do. Here's who I do it for. Here's who I am. Here's where I'm based. Now, a more ideal long-term scenario would be like a WordPress website. Elementor, you can get a theme from Theme Forest, or go high level, or ClickFunnels if you want to build their ecosystems. I don't think they're bad. I don't think they're great. I just think that's whatever. I use WordPress and Elementor. Now, do not be a perfectionist here, and this should not take you more than 1 day. And as a quick plug, at Grow B2B, my training program where I help people build B2B lead gen agencies, we have templates. All right, moving on. Thing number 6. You are going to need a CRM. A minimal viable product here could be Trello, Airtable, Notion, or Google Sheets. More ideal, Airtable, or more developed CRM, Pipedrive, HubSpot. Don't get into Salesforce. And if you don't know what a CRM is, this is where we are tracking our conversation of everybody in our pipeline, meaning people come into our pipeline, they learn about our services, we have calls, proposals, questions, all the way down to when they pay. We need to track that process. It gets very messy if we don't track it. People often overlook this, and it bites them in the butt later. So watch my video on how to set up a CRM. It's in the description. Don't spend more than 2 hours making it pretty, and really do this. I would say this is even more important than setting up a website. How I've ordered these here is not in importance, it's random. But if I am giving an order of importance, CRM is very important. It's very easy to set up, and it should not be skipped. Also, when you're using it, do not be lazy here, as this is a critical part of your business. Now we have the 6 preliminary items we need, or at least should have, to start an agency. Let's move on. Now below this, let's answer the question I get a lot, which is, what does this cost? Because I want to make a point here, but this is very inexpensive. This is very inexpensive. And if you think this is too much, you frankly should probably get a job, or freelance, or go flip stuff from garage sales like Gary Vee recommends. And I did that myself as a kid. When I was younger in high school, at one point I had 3 jobs and I was flipping things. So if this seems expensive, you're not quite ready yet. However, let's go over the cost, because this is very cheap. Your core domain will be about $20 a year. Core email, will be around $7 a month. That looks like a 1, it's a 7. Your 5 outreach domains will be $100 a year. 10 outreach emails, $70 a month. Your website hosting, like $10 a month. Your Elementor Pro, about $100 a year, assuming you're using that. If it's card, I think it's free. About $105 a month. That is nothing. That is nothing in the context of B2B. The barrier to entry to start here is very low. That does mean there's competition. And if you want to hear more about that, check out my first video I made, but there's not that much and there's nothing stopping you. And again, if you don't have $100, go flip things, go work for your neighbors, mow a yard, I don't know, find a way to make $100 a month. But it's cheap, it's cheap. So there's not any good reason that even if you don't have this, you can't get this to start. So that should not be an excuse that you have at all in the slightest. Now, the next question is, where do I put my time and energy when starting a B2B lead generation agency? And there's 2 paths here, and I want to go through both. So the first one is the kind of do-it-yourself approach. Now, if I was putting these in order, we want to name your business, we want to set up domains and emails, set up a basic personal brand, CRM, sign up for payment processing, buy hosting, and set up an MVP site, and then learn obsessively. Now, one thing I often see that you don't want to do here is, hey, I'm an agency owner. That means I'm a CEO. CEOs don't do fulfillment. Let me hire someone to do all my work. That doesn't work. That's how people fail. People get lazy. They don't want to learn skills. They want to take shortcuts. They don't want to put in the work. You need to be so good at your own skill that when you hire people, you know they're not ripping you off. And if they quit, if they get sick, if they end up sucking, you need to be able to step back in and be better with them. You need to be able to be one who writes the instruction manuals. So where do I learn? YouTube, podcasts, interviews, competitor research, books, and doing. YouTube, my channel's a good one. Eric Nowalski, he's interviewed on my channel. Nick Abraham, he's interviewed on my channel. There's other guys in B2B lead gen, like the Instantly guys and Smartly guys are on my channel. Podcasts, I don't listen to a lot, but I know they exist. Interviews, one's on my channel and elsewhere. Competitor research, go on Clutch, which is a big marketing agency directory, and look at the B2B lead gen agencies that have 500 employees. Look what they're doing. My favorite thing here, books. I'm going to give you 4 recommendations for books that I think are awesome. Now, the first one here is How to Write Copy That Sells by Ray Edwards. This was recommended to me by my friend Kieran Anderson, who's one of the best copywriters I know, and I read it, and I think it's one of the best copywriting books. I would say this is probably an intermediate level book, so you can definitely read it as a beginner, but if you are more advanced, don't be afraid to read it as well. Now, the next one is Copywriting Secrets by Jim Edwards. This book is definitely directed a bit more at a beginner audience, in my opinion. However, it's still a really good book. It's one I've read twice and I often refer to. In fact, I even have it in my bookshelf. Just to prove a point, and I'm not going to do this for the other books here, but here is Copywriting Secrets by Jim Edwards. I've had this book for years and I do actually frequently reference it. Next up is How to Get a Meeting with Anyone. I think this is the least heard of, or at least a book I hear about the least between these, but it's incredibly unique and it's a really interesting approach to guerrilla account-based marketing to use really unique prospecting campaigns to get meetings. I think for beginners getting their first client, this book is one of the keys. And finally, 100 Million Offers. If you're watching my channel, you probably know what this is. If you don't, it's a book on offer creation. Now, I'm actually going to make another video around how to build an offer for a B2B lead gen agency, but that will be in a week or so. But this book is a great place to start. The last thing you should be doing here is, I'm going to zoom in on this one because it's really important. It's doing. You need to learn by doing. I am a decade into business. I have put in a lot of hours, and you're not going to be great at something when you've done it for 100 hours, right? You're not. So you need to do for yourself and then for your clients, and then you get more clients and more clients and more clients, but you cannot be afraid of doing, failing, learning, getting better, doing, failing, learning, getting better. You are going to need to make revolutions around the feedback cycle to become good at not just B2B lead gen, but literally anything. Now, the one other option you have is to learn from somebody. This is something that I wish I had did sooner, as I didn't do this for my first couple of years. Then I got in my first agency program by Iman Gadzhi, which helped me a ton and connected me to a bunch of like-minded people. So if you do want help growing your B2B lead generation agency, or you just want help with B2B lead generation, this is what I do. I have a full program that around 50 people have gone through and has helped them grow a B2B lead gen agency that gives you all the things you need to be successful, from my hundreds of thousands of dollars spent on employees and resources and trainings and decade of doing email. So if you want to see more, it's at growb2b.io. There's also a link in the description. Okay, moving on. Now the next thing here is, how much time should each of these things take? I want to hold you accountable that this is not a month-long thing. This is fast. Name your business, 30 minutes. Set up your domains and emails, 5 hours, because the first time you do DNS records and everything is a bit of a pain. Setting up a personal brand, basic one talked about, 2 hours. CRM, 2 hours. Payment processing, 3 hours, just due to like some reading fine print. Hosting setup, main MVP site, 5 hours. And then learning, I would recommend 10 to 15 hours a week when you're starting. That is a lot, but it's going to pay off. Now, you don't want to do this forever, but you do want to do this initially for the first couple months to really absorb as much as you can from other people. And now we're getting to the good stuff. The biggest, most important, hypercritical, crucial, non-optional step. And I have made this very large and very dramatic. Do outreach and marketing. That pause is intentional for dramatic effect, by the way. Now, to emphasize this, you will not get good or make any money in B2B lead gen if you do not do outreach. You have to be your first case study. If you can't make this work for yourself, your clients, it's not going to work for them. You have to make this work for yourself. It does not matter if you work with me, if Grow B2B, you work with someone else in their program or coaching, you do this solo, you need to do outreach to get clients, to get better and make money. This is revolutions around the feedback loop. It's experiment, get data, revise, experiment, get data, revise, and around and around and around. So that's very, very important that you understand that this part takes time. Now, how do you do this? I'm going to give you some recommendations on how to get your first client. I'm going to give you 6 proven ways. Proven meaning I've done them myself, and people I've coached inside Grow B2B have used my exact processes and templates and also done these and gotten results. So let's go over the 6. Now, the first way to look for clients is in your personal and local network. You do not have social proof. That is the hardest part. Things get much easier when you have case studies, testimonials, content, reviews, etc. Those help people trust you naturally, but you don't have those right away. So you can look for people that are already trusting of you, hopefully, in your family, your friends, maybe your church or congregation, your school or university, your neighborhood, or maybe even your work. I've seen some people make their boss their first client or their employer. So that is the first place I would look. Now, I totally understand that this won't apply to everyone, but it will apply to enough of you that it's worth bringing this up. You know, I didn't come from a family of entrepreneurs, but if I did, I would have probably had my family been my first client. There would have been a lot more grace if I made a mistake, and there's nothing to be ashamed about that. If you have the opportunity to do that, most certainly do that. So that is number 1, people who already trust you. Number 2 is just doing normal outreach, which I have so many videos on within my channel, but offering a free trial or the first X leads for free. So you're going to choose a target. And again, there's more videos on choosing a target. Also in this series, I'm going to go over the best niches for lead gen. So stay tuned for that. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. You're going to offer them either a free so many days, 14 days, 30 days, or first 5, 10, whatever it may be, leads for free. Now, when people get on the phone, you only want to work with people you vibe with. I know that's a funny word, but like if somebody's like only there because it's free and you wouldn't see them buying after, no. We want to only look for people that you really think have long-term potential and you like them. Get them results and use it as a case study. I would only do this for 2 to 3 people to start. Now, the third thing here is businesses you're a customer of. And this is a bit of a funny one, but if you have the ability to do this, it's a fantastic place to start. Now, think about it. If you already are a customer of a B2B business, insurance, or someone who manufactures, or whatever it may be, there's some law of reciprocity there. They're going to feel bad to not answer you, at least because you're a customer of theirs. So consider which B2B businesses you're a customer of, if any, or maybe your family is a customer of. Leverage your existing relationship and a law of reciprocity to do hyper-personalized outreach. A great example of this is not B2B, but I want to share, is back when I had an e-commerce agency, I would respond, or I would send cold emails to e-commerce brands, and my subject line was the order number when I had purchased from people. Super creative. And then in the video I attached to my email, I was holding their product, talking about it, and sharing marketing ideas. So I would do that really creative outreach, and then maybe offer like a pay-per lead or free trial to secure the deal if it is your first one, just to add a little bit of safety net for the business that may be hiring you. And this is a pretty easy way to get a first client, to be honest. Now, the fourth one here is Upwork. Upwork is one of the easiest ways to get a first client. Upwork gets a lot of trash thrown around about it, but it is pretty easy. Now, I have a full guide on Upwork, so I'm not going to go over it again here, but that, along with all the other videos I've mentioned, will be in the description if you want to check them out. Now, fifth, and this is also leveraging trust because you don't have that without case studies and social proof. This is in-person call to action outreach. Now, again, we're using trust to get around a lack of social proof. And people who are around us in our neighborhoods, communities, etc., they're likely to have things in common or know the same people, and they're the easiest to get to trust you. So we want to reach out to them with cold email and pitch an in-person meeting. Come by their office and bring donuts, go to coffee, go to lunch, whatever it may be. And this is also not so common, so there's not that much competition to do it. Because if you can get someone in person, look them in the eye, shake their hand, and you have social dynamics and confidence, that makes it so much easier to get someone to trust you without social proof, because you're the local guy that they can trust. And the last one here is high effort physical prospecting. I'm referencing again the book, How to Get a Meeting with Anyone, as well as another one by John Ruhlin called Giftology. Thank you, Joey Gilkey, for the recommendation. These are both around how to use physical mail and really unique marketing angles to get meetings with one person. So the goal here, this is account-based marketing. This is, we have one target, and we do a lot of effort to get that one person on a meeting. And this is a great place to start, because if you're creative and you have time and you can work hard, this is an amazing place. So highly recommend reading How to Get a Meeting with Anyone. If I was starting from scratch, this is the first book I would wish I had read on prospecting. It's that good. And there we have it. We've talked about what you need to do, the preliminary steps, how much it costs, what to do in order, and also how much time it should take, how to get your first client 6 ways, and you should be set. Now, if you want my help on a one-on-one basis with one-on-one calls, group calls, course material, SOPs, templates, check out Grow B2B. It's the fastest way to grow a B2B lead gen agency. There's very few people that have done as much revenue as we have actually selling B2B services and outreach who are on YouTube. And I would be happy to share with you what we do. So book a call there if you want to learn more. And I thank you for watching this video. Drop any questions you have in the comments. Make sure to leave a like, and I will see you in the next video on this series in the next week or so. Thanks, and have a good one.